Hi everyone, I wanted to record this little video to kind of explain some ideas about shooting yoga videos because it's a little bit easier to explain things visually and show some pictures and talk than it is to write it out and in a lot of boring text and paragraphs and all that. So I'm going to cover some of the basics about shooting a yoga video at home, what kind of different tools you're going to need, how this is going to kind of work. Obviously this guide is not going to cover absolutely everything because there's a lot to cover. But trying to cover all the basics so that you can shoot some better quality videos. So starting off, basically an HD camera of any kind is going to be great. Pretty much anything off the shelf that you can find is going to work. One thing to keep an eye out for is what are the different types of HD. Basically there's two different size settings for HD. There's 1280 and 1920. Sometimes these numbers are written down as like 720, and what that is 1280 by 720. So 1920 by 1080 is the really like full-size HD, and basically the good news is that either one works. The only thing you don't want to use is a camera that shoots at an SD resolution, because that is going to be the square kind of picture size versus the HD ratio, which everyone's used to experiencing. So other than that, pretty much any camera is going to work. You might even be able to get away with using your iPhone, tablet, but basically just make sure it shoots the HD resolution, which can be either, as I said, 1280 or 1920 in terms of the size. The next big distinction when it comes to cameras is going to be whether or not you can plug in a microphone. That's really the critical thing about quality in terms of producing your own yoga videos is actually the sound. The sound is more important than the video, and it seems counterintuitive, but if you watch a lot of videos on YouTube, the thing that really separates them is not actually the image quality, but as much as how the voice sounds. So this can get a little complicated because there's some issues involved. If you do have a camera that you can plug a microphone into, that can work. But you're going to have to kind of adjust how you're shooting and also what you're using to record the sound. The other option is to record with an external device of some kind. Now I'm going to show you what I've got going on here. This is a real basic Olympus digital voice recorder. Pretty much anything's going to work as long as it can record at a high quality setting. And so the thing to look for is whether or not it records at MP3. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this resolution here, but zooming in, 192 is the best setting for MP3. So if you're looking at a digital recorder to record your sound with, you just want to make sure that you can record at a higher resolution rate, like something like 192 is really good. Now, what am I using for the microphone? This is a really super cheap Audio-Technica, got it off of Amazon, I think for like $20. And it's basically just a little clip-on mic. And you can see I got a little clipped on here. So I'm going to do a little playing with the editing, and you're going to now hear what it's like to switch from using this lavalier mic on my shirt versus the built-in mic. Now you can hear that I'm speaking just with the built-in mic on the camera, and it's not as dramatic up close like this, but if you stand really far away from the camera and you're talking here, if you're hearing the voice, my voice across the room, it sounds like I'm really far away now, right? And so the sound quality is really diminished, but if we switch back over to using the lavalier mic, you can see that my voice sounds a lot clearer and more succinct. And this is what's really important about yoga videos. The reason why should be somewhat obvious. We're not always watching the screen. When we're taking a yoga class with a video, we're not constantly watching the screen. Like, an aerobics video, you're trying to stay in sync and and you really follow someone. But with yoga, you know, if you're in downward facing dog, you're not watching your TV screen. So that's why having really good sound is actually more important. So this, using a digital recorder and an external mic like that, can record some really nice sound. Other options you might get away with using your iPhone if you've got an extension like that's got you know, earbuds with a little microphone. If the sound quality is good, you know, you can test it and see if that works. Now, if you're going to use something like a phone to record with, you're going to need to, of course, turn off the ringer so that you don't get any calls or whatever in the middle of your shoot. But that's a possibility. I haven't personally experimented with it, but it should work. So it's another option. Now let's kind of take a look at what would be the next step. Let's say you've got your camera, you've shot something, you use some kind of an external recorder, you've got some really good sound. How do you get the two together? Now, this part is a little bit more involved, and if you're working with me to produce a video, I'm going to take care of that. But if you're doing this on your own, this is where it does get a little bit more tricky, and I'm going to show you what it's like to sync up two pieces of media where you've got your audio and your video on separate tracks. Now, as you can see here in my editor, I've got the original video clip with the original sound, and now I've brought in the audio clip recorded with an external device. And you can see that at the beginning I did a nice clap, and that gave a really solid waveform. And if you're using something like iMovie, which I know some of you have worked with that before, basically this is how you do it, is you basically zoom in real close and you get those two waveforms pretty next to each other, and then you turn down the original audio and you turn up the audio recorded from the external digital recorder. So this is how you would go about doing this if you're already used to doing a little bit of editing, or say you've got a friend that does this, somebody that's helping you out. As I said before, if you're working with me, I'll take care of doing this for you. So you just need to send me your video and your audio files, and I'll put them together like that. So obviously talking about video editing is kind of outside the scope of this little instructional video real quick. So not going to be able to go into that in great detail. But one thing I do want to kind of cover is to wrap up is about content. If, like I said, we're working together, I'm going to put some intros and outros, you know, to put the visual things on the beginning and end of the video clips for use at Muuyu. But what you want to also think about is your verbal intro and outro. You know, when you're starting off your video, you want to start off by saying, "Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm going to take you through da-da-da-da." That phrase should be the title of the video that you're making, so it's really clear to people what they're watching and what they've gotten. And when it comes to the end of the clip, you're going to want to do the same thing. You're going to want to wrap up and say, "Hi, you know, thanks for watching the class. My name is so-and-so." So you really want to create this impression of having people know who you are, because this is what's going to keep them back, keep them coming back and working with you. The last little bit about content is just to try to keep things succinct and specialized. The more unique you can get, whether it's yoga for scoliosis or yoga for post-ride cool down, you know, for cyclists, whatever, you just get creative, but try to get as specialized as possible, because the more unique your content is, the easier it is going to be for people to find it, and that's what is going to help, you know, build your audience. So there you go. There's some basic overviews about how to shoot some videos for Muuyu or for wherever you're going to put them up. If you have any questions, I think you can post below in the comments box. I'm hoping there'll be a comments box on this page, and maybe some additional links and stuff for helpful resources. And that's about it. So signing off for now and talk to you later. See you on the mat.